What up? What up? Hopefully everybody's doing something positive every day. Every day. Every day. Something you don't want to do, that's put you forward. Do it. Helping somebody else, helping yourself, whatever. Something, accomplish something every day, or accomplish a bunch. Whatever you could do. So I was talking to somebody the other day that I've known his whole life, right? And we were talking about something I have a problem with, I guess. I don't hate the people that do it. I don't really hate anybody, but one thing I never understood was people that steal shit. Like, I just don't understand it. To me, it's gross, and it's like, man, especially if somebody's got kids, or, oh dang, coming up hot. Especially if somebody has kids, or people look up to these people, and they steal stuff. One of the common things that said by people that steal, or addicts, not saying addicts ain't people, but seemingly gives them a reason to steal shit. They'll steal from places like Home Depot, or like big stores, big name brand stores and shit, and their reasoning is always, oh, it's corporate America, they ain't gonna miss nothing, they're billionaires. And so I was talking to him, and I'm like, no, like, you think you're stealing from these billionaires, but they pass it on, like all that loss prevention costs and anything having to do with it, they're not gonna lose shit. They ain't losing nothing. If anything, they mark it up. Say they gotta pay for additional employees for loss prevention, or they gotta hire a third party. They're gonna mark that price up, and they pass the costs on to that person's relatives that do go and buy shit, and they don't steal nothing. I can't even find something and feel great about that. Like, if I find money, I'm asking, and I'll give it. If I'm at a store or something, I'll give it to the employee and be like, here, this was on the floor, somebody comes looking for it, give it to him. Yeah, like, don't keep that shit, right? And I just hope they do. That's it, and I'm done with it. I did my part. That's all I could do. Is what I could do. I'm not gonna procrastinate on that shit. Nothing. It's just, here, if I'm in the desert and I find a $50 bill, shit, I'm like, thank you, Lord, got this. If there's anybody around, I'm gonna ask them, hey, you missing anything? You coming up short? But if they can't call it, and it's just, then I'm gonna be like, oh man, this is cool. I'll be cool with that. I'll be good with that. But if I'm in a store, parking lot even of a store, right? Even finding something is tough. I feel like, oh shit. So when somebody sets out and they go and steal stuff, that to me is just fucking nuts. I trip out on that. I got no problem with taking somebody's shit. If you're taking it from their face and they're a bad person and they deserve that, no problem at all whatsoever. It may that day, just because that got put in your face and you're the type of person to move on that, it may have to do with that other person having to become, like, have a humbling experience in their life. So I don't know for sure. I'm gonna know for sure. But at this moment in time, there's instances where, yeah, I have took something that somebody else had, right? But something happened, and I felt the need to be like, oops. Like a while back, I did that. Somebody kept dropping a flag, and I did that, and I took it. And there's a second part to that I just remembered right now. But about a month after I took this flag, I told the dude like a couple times, like, man, that shit, that's crazy. You keep letting that hit the floor. He was set up on a corner, and he was setting up to sell all this Trump gear and these flags with, oh, what is it? It's a black flag, and it says something. It has an AK and an AR-15 or M16. It says something about, oh, I'll shoot you, bro. Like if they're gonna do something and somebody comes and tries to take their shit. And one of the flags there was an American flag, and it was windy and it fell down. And I told him, hey, bro, handle that. Don't let that hit the floor. And it fell down again. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And then that was it. And it ended up where I kind of smacked him a little bit. And then it was about a month after, maybe. About a month after. I was chilling, just normal life, about to do my thing. And I was in public. And I felt a crack. I was like, what? And I got blasted, dude. I got socked up. So that same dude that I had hit, I ran into. Well, I won't say I ran into him because I didn't even see nothing coming. It was just I got blasted on. I got socked up a little bit, but it was all good. It happened. And I'm fine with it. I got touched up. But anyways, back to the stealing shit. Anybody that steals something, it doesn't matter if you steal it from a big ass corporation, all that. If there's a big thing of law, like if that company has to deal with loss, it's just getting passed on to the consumer. So I know a lot of people take that whole, oh, I ain't no snitch thing really like to the extreme. Doesn't mean you gotta go tell on somebody, but you can say something to somebody if you see them stealing something. The Home Depot by my house, it used to be back in the day, I would go do my job during the day, and for the next day I go to Home Depot at night a little bit, probably like an hour and a half before they close, so I could get set for the next day. They have everything shut down, so I couldn't get nothing. I used to get carts full of interior doors, and it was easy to pay and just walk straight out to my truck. But because of people stealing stuff, I would have to go to real tiny lines, and then all the end cap stuff, they had it on the ends, and it was a disaster trying to get out of the store. And that was because they couldn't curb their losses, like they couldn't prevent losses from happening. I would pull up in that parking lot and see somebody walking out of the store that I seen stealing something in there a couple days before. They would hand the stuff off to somebody in a car that was waiting for them. That person would get out of the car, walk into returns, and go and return that item. And it's the same people. And then the loss prevention dude, I would see him just chilling and standing and chit-chatting with the female that's working at the cash register. Nowhere near where people are stealing stuff. He wasn't by the tool department. He wasn't anywhere. He was standing by the exit. You know? So when people steal shit, it gets passed on. All that gets passed on to the consumer. Double time. Say if their loss is $1 million a year, they're not going to increase prices that would equal out to a rise of $1 million. They're going to double time that. They're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, theft is a good thing. We can't stop these fools, and we're unsuccessful. So what we'll do is we'll just raise that. We only lose $1 million a year, but we're going to raise it up and charge extra. So they just pass it on to the consumer. So if you're somebody that steals, that's watching this, and you think that way, where because you're stealing from like corporate America or whatever, you're passing the price of that on to people that may need, people that have to budget. They can't spend all that money. So probably think twice before you think you're stealing from somebody else. You're stealing from your community. Obviously I can't get on here and say, hey, stealing is bad, don't do it. because people that steal, they steal. So, yeah, it's gross, dude. Taking people's shit is gross. It's not cool. So probably try not to steal stuff. And if you know somebody that steals stuff, and you've heard that comment about, oh, I'm not stealing from a person, I'm stealing from a corporation, explain that to them. Let them know, well, that expense gets passed on to their mom or their dad, or just that, you know, people down the street, whatever. Talk to them and see. I don't know. Always never stop talking to somebody. You don't have to waste as much time on people if you understand and you're getting tired and it's beating you down. You don't have to walk away from somebody if you don't want to. But at the same time, try to find a way to not let it drain you. Stuff could get draining, very, very draining, and it's sick, but that's kind of where faith comes in. There's a point of faith where it's not that you think you have faith or you're like telling yourself you have faith. There's a point that you reach that's super crazy. You just, what? Like, stuff doesn't bother you, you know? So it's actually a lot healthier to have actual faith. I never knew there was a difference. Never knew it until I knew it. But yeah, talk to a thief. And if you just see a random ass stranger stealing something, walk up and just be like, hey, what the fuck? Did you know you're passing that cost of these losses onto the next person? These corporations ain't paying for that. You know, just say something, you know, don't just like ignore it. And if you don't see it, that's cool. Maybe look for it. They're around in every store. All right. Have a good day. Do something positive. Stay positive. And yeah, try to recognize your trials are blessings. Right? Yeah. All right. Peace out. Do something positive. Peace.